Oh man, we got a weird story today. So, Harry Wilmington here, guys, and today we're going to be reading over a post called Platonic Friend Wants to Give Me a, quote, Platonic BJ. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. You guys who don't know what a BJ is, you're not old enough to watch this channel. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting message because I'm going to read into it and I'm going to talk about there's a weird in-between stage that happens when you're a guy that hasn't been dating successfully for a long time and then all of a sudden women start to pay you attention. There's a weird transition period that people rarely ever talk about, which is this period of like, you think that you're possibly starting to turn a corner, but you're also not really believing what's actually happening. And as a result, your confidence in yourself about what's actually happening can cause you to question a whole lot about like, why is the woman wanting to do this? Is it really with me? I'm the chump that hasn't been able to get any, so why all of a sudden is this happening? Like, what's going on, all right? And I want to talk about that because I went through that same thing in my mid-20s when I started to realize that women were liking me, and I was just like, no. Like, I'd been learning things, I'd been studying up on techniques and how attraction works and all this other stuff, and then when it started happening, I was just like, no, this woman's gotta be making it up. So let's go over this guy's situation. So he says, he's 21 years old. He says, I might be the biggest idiot in the world or not, you tell me. I have been friends with this 22-year-old female since we met in college. She's physically attractive, but also out of my league. So I never entertained the idea of pursuing a relationship. We have a good friendship going on. All right, guys, so real talk. This is another thing that men that haven't had success in dating start to do, is they have this belief that like any woman that's like hot or attractive that they would actually want to get with is out of their league, all right? And I'm here to tell you guys that is one man's opinion and it's yours and you're wrong. Because what do I tell you guys? All that matters in relationships really is how the woman views you and how she views herself being with you. And so if a woman comes to you and is like, hey, I think you're attractive, I want to possibly date you, the worst thing that you can do is say, but why? You're out of my league. Why would you date somebody like me? Because now she has to second guess herself. When originally she went in thinking, you're actually the perfect guy for me, and I feel as though we could have a good time together. And also, you know what? A lot of the things that women judge men on, we think they're judging us on a whole different system than they're judging us and vice versa. Like we judge them based on looks and we have a number scale and you know, if they're friendly and kind of all this other stuff. And so a lot of times we think, well, if I don't look the best or if I don't present as well as these other, you know, Chads and Tyrones that are out here, then why would a woman want me? It must be like some kind of game she's playing. But women have their own judgment system on how they're judging guys, you know? If you guys have been friends for a while, maybe she likes the way you treat her, maybe she likes how you tell jokes, maybe she likes the way that you smell when you wear a certain cologne. You don't know. But what you're doing when you say you're out of my league is you are now dissing her judgment system. And that is not for you to do, okay? Let her be the one to decide for herself if she finds you attractive and stop trying to dissuade women that are saying this to you from doing so. Continuing, he says, last week we were texting and she told me that she'd like to give me a, quote, Platonic BJ on a regular basis. This is in text. Naturally, I thought it was a typo, but she repeated that she wants to give me Platonic BJ a few times a week. I asked her if this was some sort of social experiment and she said no. She said that I'm a quiet guy and that she just wants to make me moan. This was baffling because the guys she tends to hook up with are nothing like me, especially in terms of personality. So I don't see how she sees my quietness as attractive. Oh, really? You don't see how a woman could equate your quietness with being mysterious. You don't equate the fact that she's never seen you get overly excited with her saying, there's a mystery about this guy that I want to unlock. I've never got to see him excited or overly boisterous about something. And you know what? I want to see that. And also, she's really putting out there being able to make that happen by doing a pretty extraneous activity and one that's like really intimate. So what I would read this as now as a 40-year-old guy is on some level, she's attracted to this guy. Because this is just a generalization, okay? But most women aren't going to just be in their head thinking, you know what? I want to just give that guy a random BJ for the heck of it, okay? You guys have history. She knows you. She trusts you. She knows you're a good guy. But there's also a lot of things about you that she doesn't know. Guess what, guy? all of that makes you a very attractive prospect for a lot of women. I got told by a friend of mine from college recently that there were plenty of women in college that had crushes on me, but I was so in my head about I'm just so weird and so funny and women aren't going to find me attractive that I couldn't even see it. But she could, because they were all having conversations with her about how much they wanted to do things to me. And I used to go around campus telling women that I was a virgin, thinking that that was going to dissuade them from wanting to hook up with me. Come to find out, it was actually the reason why most of them were trying to get with me was to see if they could be the one to break me, all right? So all these things that you're thinking is a negative, again, this is why you have to get out of your own head and stop thinking about, well, what things to me should she rationally and reasonably find attractive about me? And if I don't see those things, then it can't be there. She has her own reasons for being attracted to you, and her presenting the idea of a Platonic BJ, that could be her subtle way of trying to get in with you, but she might be thinking, you know what, maybe he's a virgin, or maybe he's just nervous around women, so I don't want to present to him the full-on, I would hook up with you all the way thing, so maybe I can start with doing the BJ thing, and then over time, as he gets comfortable with that, then I can start to do more stuff. And hey, I'm speaking of personal experience. I lost my virginity in that pretty much that same way, whereby it started off with me and the woman like doing a lot of BJ type stuff until I was finally comfortable with going all the way with that, okay? So she's smart. She knows what she's doing, okay? But you can't be in your head about this, because then she's not gonna wanna give you head about this. I'm sorry. Anyway, continuing on. So he says, I asked her why she'd want to do this with me anyway. Again, that's that doubting voice in his head saying, I'm not actually worthy of what she's trying to present. Guys, get out of your head. All you guys that are watching this, regardless of what stage in life you're at right now, you are a great guy. And you probably have women around you that are actually willing to do things with you, like go on a date, be a friends with benefits, have a full-on hookup, be in a relationship that you're not seeing. This is why it's good for you to start reading up on what kind of signals do women send and what kind of things do they say that can indicate to a guy that she has an interest. Because a lot of women are going to be passive in their communication about this. And so you can't let that pass you by. It is your responsibility to treat the way women speak and treat you like a second language, all right? So you got to pass that class, just like you got to learn Spanish to pass that Spanish class. If you want to pass the womanese class to be able to actually get into relationships and hookups and know that they're incoming to you, then it behooves you to learn that language. If you need help with that, go to my website, introvertdatingsuccess.com. I got plenty of books and stuff and programs that are designed to help you out with that kind of stuff. Continue on. He says, we had a discussion that left me overwhelmed and flustered, and I'm even more confused when it comes to her intentions. She made it clear that she's not interested in getting naked or a full-on hookup. She just wants to give the Platonic BJ. And again, she's saying that now, but that is a very intimate act. But what you do in this case is to say, okay, you take her request at face value, because ultimately you don't want to do anything more than she's comfortable with. So if she's saying for right now she's cool with just giving you the Platonic BJ, fine. Go that route. Now, if in the course of her doing this, you start to feel like she's trying to reach in other areas, or maybe she says, hey, this time I want to do the Platonic BJ with my top off, or with my bra off, or while I'm naked, or whatever, then this lets you know, bit by bit, she's becoming more comfortable with the idea of fully going all that way, okay? But also, guy, you got to be a little bold on your end. She's already being very bold by saying she wants to give you the Platonic BJ, okay? So if she's giving you the Platonic BJ, at maybe one time when she's doing it, once you've been able to get used to whatever's going on, maybe try to reach down and take off her bra and then see what she does. If she's trying to bat your hand away, that's totally fine. It means she's not ready for that step. But you can't let her do all the moves and then you do no moves that indicate to her that you want to go further, if you're trying to go that route, all right? Continuing. He says there are several problems. First, I have very little hookup experience. I think she will find that a massive turnoff. Again, I was a virgin in college. I told women I was a virgin in college, and those women wanted to try to take my virginity. So, dude, it is not an issue unless you make it an issue, all right? Continuing, he says, secondly, I wouldn't last long at all, and that would be mortifying. Or, counterpoint, would it be mortifying? Are you pre-projecting onto her how she's gonna feel should you just let go right away? Because, there's this thing that men have bought into because of, adult movies and stuff, that women want a guy that's gonna last 40, 50, 60 minutes. But I have found that if you say last that long and then you don't finish at all, that women start to get in their head about how attractive is she possibly or not attractive? Are you thinking about other women? Why didn't she do it for you? Was she not wet enough down there, et cetera, okay? Women got their own hangups about this, okay? So it's not that you have to, it's not that you want to be like, a 5-second jump and dump pump every single time. But if there's occasions where like she's doing things and you finish off in like 30 seconds or so, her thought could just be, my God, he found my lips or my face or whatever so attractive that he couldn't help but contain himself. I feel super attractive right now, all right? It's all in how it's spun. But again, let her deal with that. If it's too fast, she'll let you know, hey, dude, let's try to work on a faster pace. If it's perfect timing, fantastic, okay? But don't think that you got to come to her as this ultimate Don Juan that already has, hookups figured out and that you already know of your own accord that you can do some 40 minutes. That's not the reality. Most people's first time, especially for guys, isn't going to be like a marathon. Most likely it's going to be, if you're lucky, like 3 to like 5, 6, 7 minutes, okay? You will get longer over time as you're able to practice more. But if you haven't done that a whole lot, there's no reason to think you got to suddenly go in as a pro. Continuing, he says, third, it feels weirdly wrong to treat her like that. I'm feeling conflicted. Well, she's asking you to treat her like that. And actually, it's not even you treating her like that. She's saying, hey, this is something I would find enjoyable. I want to do this for the enjoyment of me. So at this point, you not allowing her to do it is going to actually take away the enjoyment for her, all right? So let women have their own feelings about things and stop trying to, because what men try to do is they try to control how the other person's going to feel about stuff. And that's not always something you can do. And this is also true for when you have something that's on your heart that you want to talk to a woman about in a relationship that's really bugging you, but you don't want her feelings to get hurt. Dude, all you can do is tell her the thing that you're feeling and see how she takes it. If she takes it badly, that's on her. But it's not on you to withhold that. But it's also not on you to try to control how she's going to potentially act about something, okay? So if your feeling is like, if I let her do the thing, she'll be mortified, stop. She came to you asking about doing this thing. At that point, if you guys do the thing and she feels some kind of way about it, well, she went in doing that, but women are big women. I mean, just like we say, oh, you wear your big boy pants. She's wearing a big girl dress. She knows that there's a potential for her to feel a certain way doing this activity. She's already measured out what the pros and cons can be. And she said, you know what? Ultimately, it's a pro. I want to do this thing, all right? So this guy left that, and then he had an update, which I also found very funny. And so he says, well, it happened sooner than I anticipated, and it went a lot worse than I anticipated. There's not much to say. I finished without her even touching me. He says, when saw me naked, she said, congratulations on my beautiful member. Then she said that I looked delicious and that I'm all hers. I was already hard at that, and that was enough to send me over the edge. It was mortifying. So in this case, he was mortified. But why? Because he built this whole thing up in his head. He had a bunch of mixed emotions about, well, I don't want to make her feel a certain way, but I guess I want to do this thing, but how's this going to make her feel? And I'm guessing he's probably never had a woman say to him before that his member was beautiful and that she was all his, or that he was all hers, all right? And so, yeah, that's one of those things where that can cause you, if you haven't done this before and you're on your head about stuff, it can cause you to prematurely finish the ceremony, I shall say, all right? But how does she respond to it? Well, he says, so I finished instantly and kept saying sorry. She told me to stop saying sorry. I apologize for saying sorry too much. I've done whole videos about women don't like men who apologize. The caveat to that is this, is that they don't like them apologizing for stuff that they have no reason to apologize for. And even with stuff that they have done, you're better to err on the side of, hey, you know what? I recognize that this thing that I did really upset you, and so I'm gonna change this behavior. Because they really wanna see action more so than all these words that say you're apologizing but nothing's getting done. But this was not a situation where you needed to apologize. Hey, she was attractive, she was saying some sexy stuff to you, and you finished off sooner than anticipated. Again, for her, it was probably a turn on. But what is a turn off is you acting mortified, you start to get in your head, you saying, I'm so sorry. Those are things that could turn women off. So if that had been me, I'd have just been like, wow, I mean, you just look so good. I couldn't help myself. But you know what? Let's get you cleaned up and we'll try again in a few minutes and see what's what. Now you look like a guy that's confident and she's thinking, oh my God, like this guy is thinking I'm so attracted that he finished off so quick and he's still gonna be ready to do it again soon. Like, oh, this is the guy that's got stamina. That's a better reaction than you being this whiny guy that's gonna suddenly be a turnoff by not being confident within the proceedings. All right. Continuing, he says, then she offered to lick me clean, which I declined because I felt crappy. Dude, you are all in your head about this. You're making this whole experience about you. And everything she's telling you is that she's enjoying the experience. She enjoyed you. And she actually wants to go to Pound Town with you again. And she wants to lick you clean. Dude, let me tell you, I'm 40. I got experience in the game, all right? The majority of women in your lifetime that are going to go down on you and want to actually like let you finish off either on them or in them, and then want to actually like take all that stuff into their mouth is minimal, okay? So if this woman is saying to you she's willing to do that, let her. Because it means that she not only enjoys the proceedings, she enjoys you specifically, all right? I'm telling you, I've had so many men that have, the women that I've been with in my lifetime, there's been a few that have done that, most haven't. And so I've talked to other guys though, and the women that I've dated that have done that, if I've talked to my guy friends about it, they'll be like, dude, like we've had no woman ever in our life do that. Why? Because admittedly, it's gross. It really is. Like, it's like the stuff coming out of us, it's not something that's like to write home about. So a woman that's willing to see your nasty stuff come out of you and be like, you know what? It's time to get to eating, dude. You have no reason to complain. But this is the problem, because you're making this experience all about you instead of making it about her, okay? So if she's enjoying this stuff and she's coming to you and saying, hey, I want to give you a Platonic BJ. She's coming to you and saying, hey, I want to lick up your stuff. She's coming to you and saying, hey, it's okay that you finished off fast because I actually enjoy that. If you're too much in your head, then you're making it more about you. Listen to the things that she's saying. Everything she said so far is that this whole thing is okay, I'm having a good time, and I want to enjoy more of it. That's when you as a guy need to learn to just shut up, stop expressing these feelings you're having, because you're not really mad, you're not really feeling crappy, you're feeling crappy because you're thinking that she should be feeling crappy, and you're judging your performance and how stuff went instead of looking at how she's judging it. And you're not having your eye on the, excuse the pun, you're not having your eye on the ball here, all right? So get over yourself and let her enjoy the proceedings, and don't make her feel guilty or bad or think that she should be not having a good time, because you're saying you're not having a good time when you actually would be having a good time if you weren't prejudging yourself about how she should be feeling. Continuing, he says, I got up and my legs were so shaky that I tripped and fell and hit my head pretty bad. She wanted to help me back up, but then my cat came and pounced on her. I swear this is almost made up. He says, afterwards, she told me I did well my first time. And in parentheses, he says, I'm not a virgin. Okay, sure. And that we can take things slow. To be completely honest, I'm convinced that she thinks I'm a complete idiot and that she's just trying to spare my feelings. I think I effed up entirely. God, guy. And I'm not trying to hurt this guy's feelings. I was this exact same way in my early 20s when I didn't have a lot of dating experience. I didn't think women would like me. And so, like I said, in that in-between phase, you go from like women showing you no attention to women showing you attention. And it can be very, very jarring, because as humans, we don't do well with instant change. So to go from, hey, 1 minute we're just friends, to the next minute, hey, this woman wants to give me a BJ, that can be, it's like your brain has to catch up, because actions are saying, okay, she's down for the get down, she wants to do stuff, she's clearly showing interest, but the brain is still stuck in the past where it's like, but no women have shown me this kind of interest, and I don't think that this woman is really, and maybe she's like gonna feel some kind of way later on, and I don't want to be the guy that's gonna do these things to her and this and that, and you're in nice guy mode. But she doesn't want you to be in nice guy mode. She wants you to be in the mode that she's gonna do some dirty stuff to you, okay? And if you like that kind of stuff, then you have no reason to feel bad about that, and you have no reason to project feeling bad onto her or giving her the indication that she should feel bad about this stuff. You're two consenting adults. You're both over 21. So at this point, if she's bringing up activities that she wants to do with you in the bedroom, that's totally in her right, all right? You're not doing anything here that you need to feel bad about, that you should be judged about, that she's gonna be judging you about, that you should be judging her about. You're two consenting adults. This does not mean that these activities have to result in a long-term relationship. You don't have to feel like, well, she does this stuff, am I now obligated to be in a relationship with her, or should we be at least talking about it or discussing it? You don't need any of those kind of serious conversations for right now. All that matters is this: you're two consenting adults. If she's presenting the option of giving you Platonic BJs and your response is that you'd actually be fine with that, fantastic. Now, again, you're an adult. if you are personally feeling some kind of way about it and thinking, well, I don't feel good about getting platonic BJs, you have every right to do that as well. But I'm saying is that if you're going to go through with it, then don't feel bad about it. Stop projecting all this negativity out there and stop making her feel like you're anxious about it, because you shouldn't be. She's making grown woman adult decisions that she can handle. So you have nothing to feel bad about. You don't have to look out for her pride or her ego or anything like that. Unless she's presented a fun activity she wants to do. If you're cool with it, let her do it, but don't bring all this baggage to it that's going to make the proceedings weird and awkward, okay? She will let you know if she's feeling awkward about something or if she doesn't want something to go further, okay? But it's not your job to try to figure that out for her, all right? So hopefully this helps you out. For the rest of you guys listening, again, same thing. If you're with a woman that's presenting these kind of ideals, that's totally fine. Let her do the thing, and if you're cool with it, don't be in your head about it. Yes, and I told this before, women that like you will help you. I've also said if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. This is an example. This woman is chasing him. She is chasing him to give him a platonic BJ that in all reality is probably her way of trying to get to more. But even if it doesn't, like, she just wants to have some fun with the cool guy that she knows. So if you're down with the get down guys, then don't make it more complicated than it needs to be, all right? And if you're in that weird in-between stage between like you're going from not getting women to women are suddenly paying you attention, but you notice that these kind of things are happening where you're basically self-blocking yourself and need help to get out of that mind frame, I can help you out with some one-on-one coaching. Go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, click on the coaching tab, and we can set up a one-on-one for you today, all right? Also, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel at youtube.com/HarryWilmington. Check out the podcast. And if you want to show support for the show, subscribe to the channel and also leave a monetary thank you by clicking on one of the links below or going to introvertdatingsuccess.com and clicking on the tip jar tab. That's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm.